Noi siamo e saremo sempre solo Piemonte. Nelle mie 60 vendemmie ho capito che per essere una grande cantina bisogna partire dai grandi vigni. Nebbiolo, Barbera, Cortese e Moscato e le loro importanti denominazioni. Quattro vitigni autoctoni classici del Piemonte.
Per noi ridurre l'impatto ambientale è fondamentale. Ciò si traduce innanzitutto nell'adozione di una viticoltura sostenibile. Ma anche in una serie di atti concreti a tutela dell'ambiente inteso come patrimonio comune.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Buonasera. I am Alberto Chiarlo from Michele Chiarlo Winery. I am sales director and CEO of our family. The winery takes the name from my father Michele. I'm the third generation. Everything started from my grandfather Pietro that had, he was a farmer. He had a farm of Barbera and Moscato. Then my father has been extending the vineyards from the Asti area in which we are born and raised to Barolo, where we are today. My brother Stefan is the winemaker, and today I will try to have you in a trip in Piemonte, in the north part of Italy, in the Italian region that gives life to the most historical red wines from the old country. Here we are, as I said, in Barolo. Actually, we are in Cerepio. Cerepio is the name of the vineyard and is the name of our most important premium single vineyard Barolo. Sorry for my back. As you can see, we have vineyards all around us. This is the name of the hill, Cerepio. That is one of the most historical single vineyard in Italy. As we show you, it was already considered one of the top in Barolo in the 19th century, in 1880. The reason of a great single vineyard is always the same: the exposure and the soil. The exposure is south, total south, because the sun starts from east. This is south. Now we are in the afternoon, late afternoon, and we go west, and so we have all day long sun on this vineyard. The soil is very peculiar because It has a great percentage of magnesium and gives life to Barolo of unbelievable finesse. The micro weather is also important because we have olive trees here because it's very mild, sorry. And this is called the Riviera of the Langhe. Now we go down in the 18th century Cavò and we discover more of Piemonte. Thank you. Welcome back to Cerrecchio, to our vineyard. And this is also a small resort. Actually, we call it Barolo Cru Resort. That's because there are 9 suites devoted to the 9 most important single vineyard in Piemonte, in Barolo. And now we go inside and we discover one very important part of the resort, that is what we call the Cavò. Please follow me. Just for your info, sorry for my English that is broken, and also I'm a little nervous because my wife is shooting me right now, and my wife, she designed all the place, so I have to try to do a good job. Please follow me. This is the Barolo crew room, in which we collect all the top producer of Barolo, divided into the 9 top single vineyard, like the suites. And we call this Vertigo because it's based on back vintages. So we have a vertical of around 100 top Barolo single vineyard from the 9 different villages. Now we go on and we discover another part of this building, that we pass through the tasting room where we taste the wine at the end. But before that, we want to show you our Cavò, our wine vault. And first of all, we are very proud to show you that, because your name is our name of this place. Instead of vault is Cavò, but it's the same concept, because it's about treating wine like a jewel, giving the right importance to the wine, and collecting back vintages. Once again, as Chiarlo, we decided 20 years ago that we were not selling 10% of our top wines, and we collect them. In this room there is the Cannubi Barolo. This is just exposure, because the reality is that we have more than 30,000 bottles of Barolo divided in 20 different vintages. But we have all the vintages starting from 88. Then we go in the other room. Now, this is the Cerrecchio room, in which we have only the vintages of Barolo Cerrecchio. That, I remember you, is the name of the vineyard and is the name of the resort in which we are. And the last but not least, I want to show you 2 pieces of history. One is the original bell tower, that is from 1780, that is the year of foundation of this building. And the second is the book. This is the first book of classification of Italian single vineyard. It's back to 1880, and we have on the first line the village, then the name of the single vineyard, then the altitude, and last there is the quotation, which is the value of the vineyard. And Cerrecchio was the only one that was posizione sceltissima, first growth. And so what we are going to show you today is a first growth wine. Thank you.
Wine pairing. Wine pairing is our music. Piemonte is not only one of the top areas for winemaking, but is one of the top Europe area for food. Just in Barolo we have 15 restaurants with the Michelin star, and one of those is the one that we have here in Cerrecchio. Generally speaking, Piemonte wines are food wines. This is our philosophy about winemaking. We are not big fans of oak, so we never use 100% of new oak for what regards red wines. We use only stainless steel for the whites, and we try to make wines that are expression of the soil. The first lesson that you have to remember when it's about Piemonte is that number 1 is vineyard, number 2 is vineyard, number 3 is winemaking. So what we try to do in our 60 years of life is to select some of the top vineyards in Piemonte. We start from the white, and the first wine we release today is the most important white wine from Piemonte, that is Gavi. Gavi is the name of a village, the name of the grape is Cortese. Today we have a single vineyard of Gavi, actually of Gavi di Gavi. This single vineyard is called Rovereto. Rovereto is the name of the hill, like Cerrecchio, the hill you saw in advance, and is considered back to 1880 the most important vineyard in Gavi. That's because the soil is very rich of iron and gives life to whites with great structure and complexity. I'm happy that you have tonight your Rovereto 2018, because 2 years is also the timeline for which that is perfect for this wine. We are also pouring 18 in our resort nowadays. The color is this pale gold. The nose is about flour and spices. So don't search too much food, but go for the minerality and for the complexity. Sage, peach, that's the only food that I can take, but also again a lot of minerality on the end. Gavi is a super fresh wine, only 12 points of alcohol. The freshness is helping a lot, especially with the linguine seafood that is going to be your match. This is also, by the way, one of the most classical wine and food matches all over Italy, Gavi and linguine seafood. So you're going to have a great pasta. Then we switch to red wines, and we switch to our heart, Barbera, because we are born and raised with Barbera. We drink Barbera 8 days on 10. And there are a lot of Barbera. Today we show you the top of Barbera, that is Nizza. Nizza is the new appellation that is essentially the best, the premium Barbera from Piemonte. A very small area, only 19 villages, very strict rules, maximum 7 tons per hectare, but also only south-facing vineyards. Does it mean that every time that you see Nizza on a label, you have in front of you the top of the Barbera? Our Nizza is Cipressi. Cipressi comes from our most important estate in the Barbera, that is not only a vineyard but is also an art park that is called La Courte Art Park, in which we do events because we want the people to see the vineyard. We want the people, our claim is experience the best vineyard of Piemonte. That's our first goal. Back to the wine, it's a Nizza, the Barbera, the color of Barbera is a super intense ruby red. The signature of Barbera is the fruit. Cipressi has a high concentration of red and dark fruit, also because it's not covered by the oak. It's just aged in big barrels and then is aged in the bottle for 18 months. We told you that we drink a lot of Barbera because Barbera is a food wine. The Barbera is making your tongue dancing and is perfect with the chicken leg that you are going to have. And again, it's a very classical match, this one, because chicken from our farm, together with barbera, was the dinner of our grandfather and of our parents. Now we arrive to the king of wine, the wine of king, Barolo. This is our classic Barolo, Barolo Tortoniano. Barolo Tortoniano is our Barolo that comes mostly from the vineyard that we showed you in advance. So the majority of this wine arrive from the Cerepio vineyard. I have to explain you now that Cerepio is also our top Barolo, but we use only 20% of the vineyard that I showed you for making the single vineyard. 80% goes in Tortoniano, the Barolo that you are going to taste tonight. The vintage is 2015, a great vintage. This, like the previous wine, is a wine with great ratings. I forgot to tell you about Cipressi, that Cipressi has been wine of the year for wine enthusiasts 2 years ago. Also Tortoniano is constantly 93, 95 points, but is a classic, great Barolo. I don't know if you can see the color, but the color is totally different from the Barbera. We are speaking about a garnet red with medium intensity, and this is the color of the Nebbiolo grape, that is considered the most elegant and difficult grape in the world for red wines, together with Pinot Noir. But the characteristic of Nebbiolo is first of all spices, and so let's put our nose in the glass and let's find a very delicate, very complex spice. You know, we speak about complexity in these days, but Barolo is really the king of complexity, because anytime that you move your glass, you find different sensation, and we like the format in which you have your Barolo, because it's about during a dinner and you will have your right time for exploring this Barolo. The Barolo taste is very silky, very long. Tannins are the signature of Barolo, but it's about the quality of the tannins. These are smooth tannins and very long and fine. Especially the aftertaste is what impressed me more at this stage. And that's what we were here to show you today. 3 wines from 3 different areas of Piemonte, because Gavi, Asti and Barolo, they are all distant each other for 30 to 40 miles, but all based in the south part of Piemonte. And I invite you, when it's possible, as soon as that is possible, to come in Piemonte, to visit us, to taste our wines, to stay in our vineyards, and to have pleasure in the Italian way. Thank you a lot.